Welcome aboard. It's Captain G with Global War 85's Fulda Gap 3.3 Soviet Global Command. Dateline Leningrad 1985. Today, Pravda announced the promotion of a new commander of Baltic forces. Meanwhile, at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, the speech by King Carl was shouted down in the General Assembly by Polish, Nicaraguan, East German, Vietnamese, and Cuban delegates. On his turn, the Soviet ambassador denounced the warmongering Swedes, reminding the Assembly that the crisis started with their unprovoked sinking of a Soviet submarine in international waters. Further, the ambassador denounced Finland for sending arms shipments disguised as humanitarian assistance to Swedish resistance forces. Finally, the ambassador warned NATO against any more interference with Soviet operations, be they in Scandinavia or Central Europe. All right, there is no more random events, so we're going to jump right into technology in the planning phase. We're going for PGMs, Technology 1, Computers, Technology 3, Chem, Technology 10, Top Gun, where we're at Stage 3, that's Technology 12, and Advanced Airborne Operations, Technology 14. And other than Top Gun, we need an 8 or more for all techs. Add these to the randomizer. Okay, 1, 1, 2 are all fails, but we did get what we needed in PGM and Advanced Airborne Ops. So PGM, this puts us on the board at level 1. And it moves us to Stage 2 for Advanced Airborne. All right, global operations. Let's go down to Central America, where our insurgent attempt to spread the revolution. I just dropped some pieces off camera, sorry. We're thwarted by the CIA. So we are now going to try again in Guatemala. Guatemala is the correct answer on your Global Operations Bingo card. All right, so let me get you situated here and zoomed out. We'll bring up Purchase New Units, which is next. So this is a combination of military aid and defense spending. And this is what I dropped, trying to move it once already, so hopefully this will work. All right, so coming into this turn, we did have 39 IPP to spend after robbing the Swedish treasury. For military aid, we're sending the same two. The chips represent what's actually going to go on the map because we already have these sculpts now. So a paramilitary and a SAM, it costs us 1 each. We went through that last time. For our defense purchases, we're buying 2 Marines for 8. We're buying 2 MBTs for 8. We are advancing 1 airbase from a minor to a major. It's an upgrade. We are building 1 more nuclear attack submarine. It costs us 5 with the discount from the event. We are starting construction on a heavy aircraft cruiser at 4, and we're building 2 SAMs, 3 each, total of 6. So rather than try to pick that up and move it, I'm just going to slide it down. Combat phase. Because of their illegal support against dead-ender Swedish resistance forces, or for them, the Soviet Union is declaring war on Finland. Now that will give another +2 IPP to NATO, taking them from 14 to 16, I believe. And Ozark can correct that if I'm wrong. All right, so we have 3 combat actions and then a series of combat moves, combat actions, but there's no dice rolling. So the first attack is a walk-in Goteland, where we're just flying in an airborne, an air cav, and an attack helicopter. I'm going to go around to the other side of the board so I can move this without reaching across. So from Western Ukraine, the airborne flying 1, 2, 3 lands in the now empty Goteland to secure that, accompanied by an attack helicopter and an air cav. So that is attack 1. Attack 2 is actually going to result in combat. The Finns have 2 light infantry in defense. I'll move them onto this card, and then I'll carry it over to where we're going. We're not using the battle boards this time. So the helicopter from Baltic States flying 1, 2, as well as the light infantry coming in from Leningrad and the MBT coming in from Leningrad, as well as the attack bomber from Leningrad and 2 fighters from Leningrad. So pretty much this task force. Not all of it, because the attack helicopter is going somewhere else. We're also bringing in, just because we've got it, the Bear bomber from Volgograd will be flying up to do carpet bombing. So that is attack 2 here in southern Finland. If southern Finland is defeated, Lapland will surrender, unlike Goteland, which counterattacked. These guys will surrender. All right, attack 3 is here in Svealand, the second battle of Svealand. So we have our airborne flying in 1, 2, and I have another task force marker. Okay, so that task force marker is here. I'm going to put on the airborne as well as the 1 light infantry. I'm bringing in the air cav, flying over this 2, and this attack chopper 1, 2, 3. So an attack helicopter, an airborne, and an air cav. I'm also sending from this naval task force off the fleet 1 fighter off the ASF, moving 1. And the backfire bomber from Western Ukraine, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's flying, also doing carpet bombing for 1 round. So that's a walk-in, and these are the 2 battles that we need to roll for. All right, so let's bring you back to the battle box view. Let's set you so you can see it. All right. Get the tech dice out of the way. Let's bring in battle number 2, shall we? Battle number 2. All right. So there's no first strike from either side, no artillery, no cruise missiles, no SAM or air defense. So we're going to go straight up attack. And the attacking Soviets have 5 2s for this first round, and hopefully only round. From the Bear bomber, I just want to double check that it is indeed. Yep, 5 2s. We have a 6th 2 from the light infantry. We have a 4 from the MBT. We have an attack helicopter at 6. We have the attack bomber at 7. And we have the 2 fighters also at 6. So we'll roll the attackers. We're looking for 2 hits. And then we will roll the defending light infantry. Okay? Where's the randomizer? All right, wow. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 hits just on the carpet bombing and the light infantry. We have 1 fighter hit. So we had multiple hits. Too bad that couldn't happen when we hit Sweden. If I'd had more survivors, then maybe Guteland wouldn't have felt so brave in their counterattacks. So we did get the 2. We have 2 4s in defense, the 2 defending light infantry. 10 and a 5. Finland, Finland, Finland. The place that I most want to be. Outstanding. Thank you very much, Finland. Thank you. All right, so I'll put that back there and move this off screen. Now let's move on to battle number 3. Battle number 3, which is the Second Battle of Svealand, the pesky Swedes. So I'll move this off. And we have now with the backfire, that's only 3 at 2 for carpet bomb. We have a airborne attacking at 3. We have, and actually that's elevated with the attack helicopter to attack at a 4. We have an air cav attacking at 4. We have the attack helicopter at 6, and we have a fighter at 6. Okay, so all of that. Hopefully this won't be a repeat of Svealand 1. Woo, okay, good. I didn't see that at first. I see a 2 down here. Sorry, here's a 2. So all the 2s missed, the 4s missed, this 6 missed, but we did get 1 hit, either the fighter or the attack helo. So, whew, put me out of my misery there. And we have 1 4 in defense from the Swedish light infantry. 5. All right, they've already done their damage, more than their fair share. Outstanding. So that's the end of battle 3. So I will return those when we do our non-combat moves. Let's pivot you to see the combat actions, which you do in the combat phase. They're not anything we need to roll dice for. So if you can see these 3 nuclear attack submarines in A9, they are going to sortie out from the major shipyard. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are going on silent running. And silent running is something you have to do in the combat phase, which is why this is a combat action. So that's the prototype Akula, the Oscar 2, and the Victor 3. All right. Down here in the middle of the Atlantic, these 2 nuclear attack submarines are not moving, but they are silent running. Okay. And then last but not least, you guessed it, here in the Indian Ocean, these 2, a diesel electric and a nuclear attack submarine, are moving 1, 2, and they are going on silent running. In I-7. They moved from I-5 to I-7, and they're going on silent running, both of them. Okay. Alrighty then, let's put you back where you can see, sorry, I'm setting this down, where you can see we're going to do some non-combats and move toward the end of this turn. I'm trying to move on Admiral Seabass speed. All right. Non-combat actions. First up, the Baltic Fleet, under its new commander, will move 3. Would have been ideal to move 4, but somebody took this shipyard, and so I can't use its benefits now. It was what I would tip of the hat to Ozark. That was something that I'd anticipated as a possibility, but not a likelihood. So, well done, sir. 1, 2, 3 is all they can move. 1, 2, 3. So I-10, that's the combined Soviet fleet moving there with the Warsaw Pact diesel-electric submarine. Just want to double check if you can see that. Yes, I believe you can. All right, joining that fleet, sorting out of Murmansk, is the super aircraft carrier and 1 escort frigate. So they're coming out of A9, 1, 2, 3 as well. So I'm going to put them on the task force card with that fleet. And the super carrier is bringing with it the ASW helicopter. So that's a 4th ASW helicopter with this fleet, and I'll include that in my recap for my partners. All right, so that takes care of those guys. The volleyball game series is done. So this task force minus Sam is moving 1-2 back to Bulgaria. The games were called early in response to an extreme buildup by NATO, very hostile action right here on the border, threatening Bulgaria, so we had to immediately return. We're going to bring the SPAG back with us. The SPAG is coming back. Let me put that on the Warsaw Pact Task Force, make some room. My air defense is always on the map because that impacts movement of air. And then this SAM is going to move 1, 2, up here to West Czech. So from Hungary to West Czech, the SAM moves up. But the rest of the task force, including the SPAG, move back to there. And then finally, way over here, North Caucasus, I have an MBT that moves down to South Caucasus. So that is an MBT joining the MEC, the SPAG, and the SAM down in the Caucasus. We're going to land the aircraft now. So the Bear will fly back to Volgo, RTB back to Volgo. The Backfire is RTB back to Western Ukraine. Return to base, RTB, for those who were curious. We have the 2 ASF that were here in Western Ukraine are going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm flying 2 of the 3 of them out to the fleet to land on that super carrier. Okay. And let's see. It's the attack bomber and the fighters are all landing in Murmansk. Murmansk. Okay. Okay, so 3 fighters and an attack bomber all up in Murmansk. This task force is a little redundant. It's just a MBT, an attack helicopter, and a light infantry. And this task force is an attack helicopter, an air cav, and an airborne. Okay. So I believe that completes our movement. So we'll get these task force holders back and let's get you situated back a little bit. Let's place new units. So I'm going to put the how can I do this carefully? Yeah. Can you see that? Let me back you up until you can. There you go. So there's the build. So the two SAMs that slid off Western Ukraine. Okay, so the two SAMs in Western Ukraine. The heavy aircraft cruiser goes on the build chart, stage 2. The nuclear attack submarine goes up in A9 in Murmansk with the 2 MBTs in Murmansk. All right. Whoop. There we go, up to Murmansk. Outstanding. The 2 Marines in Murmansk, since that's a major Army base now and can build 4 units. And then the airbase upgrade represented by this marker over top of the minor airbase in Western Ukraine. And then the mainstay, the Soviet mainstay, their equivalent of the AWACS, representing major air bases. Outstanding. So let's get that out of the way. All right. So we've placed units. Let's do our recruitment roll. I'll just bring this out here and tilt you slightly. I have 1 roll for the PRF. We're hitting on a 2 or less. Oh, for a second there, did you see? It was a 1 and it landed on a 10. It was exciting if you noticed, but alas, not so much. The military aid delivery now. We bought a SAM and a paramilitary. They are both going to Nicaragua. So if we go down to Nicaragua, we're going to put a chip under the paramilitary and a chip for a 3rd SAM. So 3 of them here in Nicaragua. 3 SAMs there. Okay. Got it? Got it. All right. So collect income is our last item. We started this term with 37. We moved up 2 for Sweden, and we moved up 1 for Finland. So that gives us 40. And if where's my chips? Okay. So 40 is 25. I'm going to put it this way. 25. A Red October is worth 10. That's 35. And a Top Gun is worth 5. 40. 25, 35, 40 IPP. Next up is Admiral Seabass and U.S. Global Command. And he for sure will be at DEFCON 4. So let's see what he has to crush the will of the freedom-loving people in Central America. This is Captain G, over and out.